Hey all, Art student here. Today I'm going to try to work with some string. So I had this canvas for a while and I decided to paint the base black, and I had a ton of embroidery string and decided let's try to create a funky, drippy skull demon boy. I got inspired by an artist I found on Pinterest where they did all of these cool portraits and art pieces using only string and glue and some tweezers to move the string around the way they wanted. I'm definitely not using the correct string or glue, but again, this channel and my art is all about experimenting and seeing what I could create, because I would normally not make this, so why not try it? And I didn't really have much of a method besides kind of loosely following the sketch that I did in colored pencil, but all I knew is I wanted a bunch of colors, it had to be bright, it had to be squiggly, and I would eventually create some shapes. It took a while to get used to moving the string around and learning how it frayed, how it reacted to the glue, how fast the glue would dry, using the colored pencil as my little pointer to get the shapes that I needed and the curves that I wanted. It became really cool and like funky. Originally I wanted this skull boy to be demon-esque and almost have the blobs of color coming off of them as if they were, I don't know, disintegrating into a different dimension. And it was going to have a bottom jaw and hopefully be like trippy and futuristic. As you can see in the video, eventually I changed that because a lot of the details were hard to create. Whether it was the intricateness, the small pieces, just not being great with the string, or being too lazy. But I still think that the shapes that I created were pretty interesting. When trying to create the string shapes, I kind of worked in certain sections. So you see me adding pink to the horns, but it's not completely pink. I still had some yellow on it. Or near the mouth, it's blue and pink and yellow. I wanted it to have these separate sections so then you can read what it is, but also add those colors so then it made it way more visually pleasing to look at. The teeth were the most fun and frustrating part. I got to do all these fun swirly designs, even though they're not perfect and not accurate to teeth. It still gives off that same look to it. And it was really cool bending the string the way that I wanted, so it became abstract teeth. And I decided instead of doing the drippiness, I just wanted a kind of spinal cord look. I had these big plans for gloppy colors dripping everywhere, but as I stated earlier, kind of got lazy and wanted to experiment. So I chose black as the background, and it went with the painted black canvas, so nothing would pop out from between the strings, it would just be that dark background, and I just swirled it. I didn't want to do the entire canvas in one little swirl pattern. I thought it would be more interesting to create these different shapes. So you can always look in another spot and just follow the flow of the swirl. And it would also be a lot more interesting for me as the person applying the string to just go in circles and try a new pattern, a new shape, and see how it looked. And I was actually able to use a lot of extra string that I've messed up on with past bracelets or even for past projects. So I was able to use the junk string, move it around to the shapes that I needed, fill in the spots, and not have to throw it out. The bigger parts that I had to fill in were very easy because it was just simple shapes that I created and swirled around. But when I got closer to those bumpy parts or the gooey floating colors of the skull or even the teeth, I didn't want to get rid of any of those details that I worked hard on creating. So I had to really make sure I followed the flow of the string and didn't cover up any of those colors and patterns I created, because I think they deserve to stand out, and it took a while to make. And now this canvas is done, let's take a look at those close-up shots. And that's my piece. It's a funky, weird, trippy, drippy skull boy, and I'm happy that I made it. I'm happy with the contrast, I'm happy with the colors. The shapes are a little bit weird. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I still think it looks pretty cool. Maybe. But I would definitely do another one. I think it'd be fun to keep trying new swirly designs. And on that note, we're at the end of my video. If you're interested, check out my Instagram, TikTok, and my Etsy. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, or don't. It is up to you. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.